serious incident unfolded early today morning at Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport, involving Swiss International Airlines flight LX147, operating from Delhi to Zurich, when an Airbus A330 was forced to abort takeoff after an engine failure led to a fire on the runway. The aircraft, registered as HBJHK, was carrying around 232 passengers, including 4 infants, along with crew members. The flight had begun its takeoff roll on runway 28 at around 1:08 a.m. local time. According to the reports and flight tracking data, the aircraft had reached a speed of around 104 knots when one of its engines suddenly failed, and the situation escalated quickly when the affected engine reportedly caught fire during the acceleration phase. And as soon as the malfunction was detected, the flight crew immediately rejected the takeoff and brought the aircraft to a halt on the runway. After assessing the seriousness of the entire situation, the pilots made the critical decision, that is, to evacuate the aircraft as a precautionary measure in order to ensure the safety and security of everyone on board. Emergency procedures were quickly activated, and passengers and crew were instructed to evacuate using the aircraft's emergency slides. And in a few cases where the slides could not be used, stairs were provided to assist passengers in safely exiting the aircraft. Well, the evacuation took place directly on the runway under tense conditions as airport emergency teams rushed to the scene. And during the evacuation process, 6 passengers sustained injuries. They were promptly transported to the Medanta hospital for medical evaluation and treatment. Fortunately, all the crew members were reported to be unharmed, and the remaining passengers were safely evacuated without further incident. And following the emergency, runway 28 was temporarily closed to allow authorities to secure the entire area and manage the situation. Notably, the aircraft remained on the runway as airport services coordinated its removal and ensured there was no further risk to operations. And Swiss Airlines confirmed the incident in an official statement, acknowledging that flight LX147 had encountered a technical issue involving one of its engines shortly after the takeoff roll began. And the airline stated that the crew acted in accordance with safety protocols by rejecting the takeoff and initiating an emergency evacuation after assessing the entire situation. It also confirmed that a dedicated task force had been established to manage the response and investigation. The airline further added that all the passengers and crew were safely evacuated and that immediate assistance, including rebooking and accommodation arrangements, was being provided to all those affected. Local teams were deployed at the airport to support the passengers, maintain communication, and ensure that their needs were addressed. Swiss also stated that technical specialists would be sent to Delhi in order to inspect the aircraft and work with authorities to determine the exact cause of the engine failure and fire. The airline emphasized that safety remains its highest priority and that a thorough investigation would be conducted in order to understand the sequence of events that led to this emergency. Authorities at the airport, along with the airline and aviation safety teams, are now working together to examine the incident in detail. The focus remains on determining how the engine malfunction occurred during the takeoff and ensuring measures are in place in order to prevent such events in the future. Well, in a significant development, a Swiss International Airlines flight LX147 from Delhi to Zurich faced a serious emergency today at the Indira Gandhi International Airport when an Airbus A330 was forced to abort takeoff due to an engine failure that led to a fire on the runway. The aircraft, carrying 232 passengers, including 4 infants and crew members, was accelerating on runway 28 and when one of its engines malfunctioned at around 104 knots and caught fire. The crew immediately rejected takeoff and initiated an emergency evacuation using slides and stairs. Well, all the passengers and crew were safely evacuated, but 6 passengers sustained serious injuries and were taken to Medanta hospital for treatment. The aircraft remained on the runway as emergency services secured the area and runway operations were temporarily halted. Swiss Airlines confirmed the incident and said that a technical investigation is underway in order to determine the cause of the engine failure. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.